latest cash crunch has pushed up short-term interbank interest rates. Do you think that it's a deliberate policy intent? And if so, do you think the central bank would be able to avert the dangers this may cause?
Yeah, it does look as if the liquidity squeeze and the spike in rates in China was a deliberate message from the central bank to the commercial banks, really trying to tell them to restrain some of their aggressive lending behavior. And I think once that message had got through, you can see that the central bank did supply liquidity, interest rates have come down. So I don't think you're looking at a financial market crisis as a result. I think it's simply a way of the policymakers communicating with the banking system.
What does China's credit squeeze mean for the global economy? Do you think it may have more severe repercussions than the Lehman crisis in 2008?
I think the China banking problems are nothing like the scale of the Lehman crisis. Of course, the Lehman crisis affected pretty much every major financial market. You led to a freezing of transactions for 3 to 6 months. China, of course, has a closed capital account. That means it's not really integrated into the global financial system. So it's an issue domestically for China, but I don't really think it matters directly for other financial markets.
You have previously mentioned that the Fed's tightening could still be about 2 years away. What are your views now? And what would this mean for the U.S. economic recovery?
Well, I think we need to differentiate between the end of the liquidity provision and the beginning of tightening. I mean, they're going to taper policy before the end of this year. They're going to supply decreasing amounts of liquidity. They're not actually going to raise interest rates probably for another 2 years. And I think you can't really say they're tightening until that. Of course, the markets are uncertain about what the tapering of liquidity is going to mean, and that's why you're seeing all the current turbulence. But in terms of becoming a real drag on growth, I think you've got another 2 years to run for the US economy.
Do you think that the markets are overreacting to the Fed's statements? And what implications would this tightening have on global liquidity?
I think the markets reacted quite selectively to Bernanke's comments last week. He made it pretty clear, and the Fed forecast made it pretty clear, that rates are not going up until 2015, and quite possibly not until late 2015. But the money markets are already pricing in 4 interest rate increases by the end of 2015. So I think there has been an overreaction. You would expect the Fed to respond to that by trying to improve its communications policy in the next few weeks and try to reassure markets that they're not going to be tightening prematurely.